Welcome to the Women's National League wrap for Series 23. Delighted to be joined with Alanna and Laura this week. Thanks a lot for coming on, guys. I'm going to start off with Bohemians. They got the win over DLR. It was 2-1. A really good performance for Bows, as they leapfrog DLR in the table as a result. The composure as well for Chloe Darby to slot away that winning penalty with like 3 minutes to go. It really says a lot about how confident this Bows side are at the moment. Alanna, what did you make of that one?
Yeah, I agree with you there, Emma. I think as well, the first goal, Erica Burke had no right to win that ball against Donovan, and she just stayed and then powered on from there. But yeah, helped on, of course, by Brophy, who's nearly putting in player of the match performances on the regular at this stage for Bowes. They're just an exciting team to watch at the moment, and I think exceeding expectations as well. Given all the signings DLR made at the start of the year, you would have probably thought they would have finished a bit higher than Bowes, but Bowes themselves made signings and strengthened up in areas, and it's really kind of helped them out. So yeah, full of confidence at the minute. And yeah, nothing short of flying, I guess. And yeah, Derby's conversion sealed the deal on that front.
Yeah. Moving on now with Lone Town, they got the 2-0 victory over Shelburne, one which I'm sure they'll be delighted with considering last time out this late Shell's penalty cancelled out their win at Talca. Laura, the determination that Athlone showed in that second half kind of really defined how their season has gone so far. What went right for them in the game, do you think? And then what went wrong for Shells, in your opinion?
Well, it was a massive game or as a massive win for Athlone, and a massive game, I suppose, in the whole league and the whole way it sets things out now for the final part of the league. But Athlone just have to be commended this year in a massive way. I think Tommy Hewitt and the backroom staff there have just done an unbelievable job in becoming a very solid team, a very they've clearly worked on their defensive side of things in a very, very disciplined way, and the way that they're so compact in central areas, but specifically when they're defending, when they're closer to their own goal, very hard to break them down. And you could see how solid they were in the first half. They kept Shells kind of to long range shots more so, and as well in the second half. But they I think that grew, their confidence grew from the first half, their defensive display. And then the second half, they had even more confidence in getting forward and creating their chances with, Emily Corbett was brilliant. And then they got their 2 goals through Scarlett Heron, and Kelly Brennan was brilliant when she came on. She really caused a nightmare for Shells, but you could see the confidence in Athlone growing, and then you could see the opposite with Shells. The frustration was growing as they were restricted to those long range shots a lot of the time. Now they did have a couple of good chances, specifically Abby Larkin, I suppose. But I just admire the way that they have become so compact in their defence and hard to break down. Jess Hennessy as player of the match was immense in defence, and she has been every time I've seen her this season. She's so solid, and she's such a dominating presence there. She wins all the headers. She cleans up any balls that get through. Very good in the tackle. But the whole team, you can see how they work together as a team, which is just absolutely brilliant to watch. The way that they get back, the midfielders get back, Laurie Ryan getting back in every time they're on the defense. They just get numbers back in, and they're so disciplined in that they do that all the time. So I think it's going to be interesting running now. They're third still, in line with or beside Peamount. But Shells, I suppose you could say now they're going through a bit of a big blip, I suppose. You can see Noel King wasn't happy at the end of the game at all, and the players weren't happy. Like they're missing Rachel Graham there in midfield, who's a huge player for them, and it doesn't all come down to one player by any means, and Aoife Kelly's gone in there, and she's a young player who's doing really well, playing internationally and everything with the underage Ireland team. But I think Rachel Graham's a big loss for them at the moment. So I'd say they're hoping that she can come back in just from a defensive side of things. She really, it's probably more so a leadership thing, Pearl is an excellent leader there at the back, and Rachel kind of bosses the midfield then and getting them organised and keeping on the case of players and stuff, very vocal in there. So she's probably a bit of a loss, but in saying that, they still have loads of experience and they have loads of talented players. It's just the cohesion isn't there at the moment, and confidence is probably knocked a little bit now after losing to Peamount. That was a massive game. And then losing to Athlone now, so confidence seems to be low. So it's up to them to build that back up now and see can they get it together now for the last few games of the season.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be hoping to get back into a good run of form now. There's only, I think, 4 games left. So Yeah, and they have the semi-final as well this week, so that'll be interesting to see how they get on that. Cork City now, they beat Galway 1-0 Turner's Cross. It was a late Becky Casson goal and an Abby McCarthy penalty save that sealed the 3 points for them. And a really, really great performance from Cork all around. Alanna, was there anyone in particular who stood out to you in that one? Oh, you're on mute there, Alanna. we want to hear your thoughts.
I was saying there definitely was. I love this one. I think it was a real reflection of where both sides are at. I think no more than what Laura's saying there about Tommy Hewitt. I think Danny Murphy is doing wonders at Cork in kind of two ways. I think they kind of have got a bit of self-belief and confidence about them. But as well, no more than what she was saying there about that loan, you know, they've got that organisation and structure that maybe they didn't have before, and that's really kind of backing them up. You know, they've back-to-back home victories now and a clean sheet, and you know that was a big part due to Abby McCarthy, the penalty save. I thought she was brilliant. And then yeah, you could see all of those factors at play when Becky Casson got the winner there. She just kind of topped off the never say die attitude to get them the win there. So yeah, Cork on the rise, Galway kind of in the abyss at the minute. We'll have to wait and see how that one plays out for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, I saw as well on Twitter that there were 3 penalty saves for Cork in their senior squad, the under-19 squad and the under-17 squad, like all in the same weekend. Like that's got to be commended for them 3 goalkeepers. Moving on now, Wexford, they beat Treaty 3-0 at Ferrycarrig Park. Kylie Murphy, Ciara Roster, Adele Kennedy scoring the goals. Laura, with this win, you know, and Shell's dropping points, Wexford are now 4 points clear at the top. We have a few games to go, but like in a way, the league title really is Wexford's to lose at this point, is it?
Well, yeah, it is, I suppose, because it's in their hands. But the thing is, they've got some tough games ahead. They obviously have Athlone in the semi-final of the Cup next week, which will be kind of a nice little taster for what's coming in the league. Then the following week, they're playing Athlone again. They're massive games. They've Athlone, Sligo, Peamount, and then Shells in the last game of the season. So it's a lovely, lovely run in at the season for neutral. Maybe not so much for the teams involved, you know. But like it's a difficult run in for Wexford. They know that, and they'll be well aware of that. It was a professional kind of display from them at the weekend. They got all 3 goals in the first half, and you know were nice and steady then and didn't concede in the second half, which I'm sure they were happy about. Edel Kennedy's goal, just have to mention what a goal, you know, probably similar in a way to the Puskas nominated goal, you know, Stephanie Roach's goal. You have to have a look at it if people haven't seen it already. Look it up. Just cracking goal from Edel Kennedy. But yeah, it is in their hands, so you can say it's theirs to lose, but I mean they're not going to take for granted any of those games because there's 4 difficult games left for them. I think it'll be really interesting. The Athlone Wexford game in the league will really kind of tell a tale for what's to come, but there's no way of predicting this, and it's brilliant for the neutral, like last season where you know you think it's all over and then it's not, and that's why we love football, isn't it? Because it comes down to the last game of the season, which it could happen again. It comes down to the very last season. Wexford play Shells, and you can't rule out Athlone or Peamount either, because if Wexford slip up, if Shells slip up a little bit, or even, you know, a draw in that game, Wexford Shells, who knows what's going to happen, but it's brilliant for the league, for the neutrals anyway.
Yeah, it's going to be a mad end of the season anyway, that's for sure. Finally, Peamount, you know, they beat Sligo 2-0 at Euro Park. Sligo did go toe-to-toe with the Peas for a lot of the game, but, you know, quality goals from Anya O'Gorman, Clive Doyle got the Peas the 3 points. Firstly, Alanna, like what did you make of that game? And secondly, Peamount, they're on 46 points. As we said, you know, they're out of the cup as well. Do you think there's a chance that they could still possibly come back if results go their way and get to first place in the table?
Whoever drew out the fixture last summer, I think they're a fan of drama and dramatics anyways, and I thank them for that, because it's literally, you can't really call it. I was trying to do the maths this morning and it's amazing. But anyways, the Peamount game first, I thought it showed how much Sligo have come on this year. You know, the first game they ever played this year was I think it was 6-0 Drubbin, I think, in the same kind of situation away to Peamount. Now, as you say, they went toe-to-toe for quite a while, but Anya O'Gorman and Clive Doyle with the goals. It shows there's a bit of a gulf there, but it definitely is closing. And I think it just shows how far Sligo have come this year. But on the Campese still challenge front, I'm not really too sure. I'm going to say it is between Shells and Wexford, and then Peamount at loan for the 3rd spot.
All right.
Because if you look at it, Peamount have Bows, Cork, Wexford, Galway. Shells have Cork, DLR, Sligo, Wexford. as Laura was saying, Wexford have Athlone, who they played twice in a row because of the FAI Cup. Sligo Peas, Shells, and Athlone have Wexford, Treaty, Galway, Bows. So I don't know. I think we could be seeing Athlone maybe sneak into that third spot. I think it'd be another win for the neutral. I think because for so long there's kind of been that top three in the Women's National League, and it'll give hope to other teams if they can go on and do it. But it's just that they have to go on and do it yet.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thanks a mil for joining me, guys. It was a mad week of football, and looking forward to the semi-final of the FA Cup this weekend. And I'll speak to you about very soon.